Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Cold Hard Sports Talk with your hosts, Matty B and Woodsy.
Alrighty, boys, we are here with our guest today, Chris DeSousa. He has played in the OHL, in CIS, East Coast, AHL, and right now he's currently making his tour through Europe, pretty much playing for any country there that exists. How's it going today, Chris?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Yourself?
Not so bad. Weather's getting nice. We're finally getting into summer here. Yeah, so once again, thanks for coming on. We're just going to jump right into it, start talking about your career. Mississauga kid growing up, so another Ontario kid. Obviously, we know about the youth hockey scene there. Just in your kind of age group growing up, was there anyone who you kind of played in like your young days who you were playing at the highest levels in the Triple A's or whatever, who ended up going on being your star? Anyone who you're playing against, going back to 13 to 18?
Yeah, so many, man.
Anyone who really stands out to you who you played against before they were a superstar?
I mean, being from Toronto area, there's so many. Like tonight, Alex Petrangelo's playing. I played with him since I was, I think, 13 years old. We played in the OHL together too. We had a powerhouse team. It was the Toronto Junior Canadians, and we'd always run into the Markham Waxers in every tournament finals, everywhere we went. They had, Stamkos, Delzato. I'm running a blank right now, but like they had a stacked team too. And Cody Hodgson, who, had a shorter career, but he was really good back in the day. And
top 10 pick.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many guys from Toronto. I played with John Tavares when I was younger too. A lot of guys that have come through Toronto minor hockey and then through the OHL, of course, as well, that have made quite the careers for themselves.
How, maybe put into perspective a bit, like, what was the competition like in that area? Because like you mentioned it, there's so many talented players coming out of there. What was like the pressure and the competition like at that, in that area?
Honestly, it's like a professional level, kind of the way it's run here, minor hockey. And I don't necessarily fully mean that in a good way. And it's getting worse here. I see with kids. When I was younger, I still played other sports in the summer. I played soccer, lacrosse, baseball, like everything, whatever I could play, I was playing. But now it's like a full-time job. But I still remember one year I played for the Mississauga Rebels, and I was trying to, and back then we would have to sign a 2-year card every year. So they lock you in for 2 years every year. And I had to go to like a GTHL, that's what the league's called, Greater Toronto Hockey League, like a GTHL court to get my release to go to the Toronto Junior Canadians. I ended up winning. I ended up getting out of there. But yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot here. But I mean, as far as I had a blast, the level is crazy. And like, I don't know of anywhere else where minor hockey is like Toronto minor hockey. It's a different world, man. It's a different world.
It wouldn't surprise me if at some point there's like a Netflix special on it.
I'm sure they could.
Right?
Yeah, there easily could be. Actually, one of my old, he was one of my trainers in minor hockey, Jim Parcells. He was a part of a book called Selling the Dream.
Oh, yeah.
It did pretty well, this book, and it's all about that, like parents and, how it gets a little crazy, and, it's insane. And I see coach, like, I have a bunch of friends that now coach minor hockey around here and run summer camps, and the amount of money, it's crazy, man. Like minor hockey league coach in Toronto can make $100K.
What?
Yeah, like it's crazy. And that doesn't even include like the rich, crazy parents that, some guys will milk for some money to put their kid on the team. Like it's crazy. Yeah.
Alrighty, so getting into your OHL days here, you started off your first little taste. You started your doing some junior A hockey, and then you started with the Mississauga Ice Dogs. What was it like just getting your first taste of OHL hockey in your hometown?
It was awesome. To be honest, when I got drafted by Mississauga, I was kind of mad because I wanted not because of the team, but because I wanted to move away from home so bad when I was 15. Like I just wanted the full OHL experience, going to a billets and just kind of the whole thing, right? So, my first year I played probably until December, January in junior A in Toronto area here, and then I ended up signing with the Ice Dogs, and it was awesome to get going. And and then the next year our team we moved to Niagara, and the Toronto St. Mike's moved into Mississauga. So it ended up working out. I got to
Ended up working out.
Yeah, move away from home the next year. But I loved my time in the OHL. I played for some awesome teams, and it was perfect. And then my last year, I ended up going back to Mississauga to play for the St. Mike's Majors now, and we hosted the Mem Cup in 2011 that year. So it was pretty cool.
So just the one thing I noticed here about your time with Niagara is those couple seasons were the highest your penalty minutes total have ever been in your career. Was there anything different about those are the only seasons in your career that I can see, just going off your elite prospects, where you broke 100 penalty minutes? So I just wondering, like, was that a specific style you were playing there? Was
by that actually? I thought like maybe
maybe it was a little bit like, first full year in the O, trying to really prove yourself.
But yeah, I fought probably close to 10 times a year, 10 or so a year in the OHL. Obviously different times back then. It was still kind of a different game back then, but yeah, that's always been a part of my game, being physical and not being afraid of anyone, and it was just a part of my game. It was bound to happen the way I played, and so I just especially early, that was kind of my thing. Like when I go to the OHL, at least when I went to the OHL, I was like, hey, like I'm trying to prove myself. I'm trying to stay in the lineup. I was fighting anyone. But at the same time, I was also scoring goals too. And then, I solidified my spot in the lineup, so yeah, I mean, it's always been a part of my game, but it's definitely slowed down now.
Yeah, it was definitely never an issue for you to score goals with 23 goals your first full season in the O, followed it up with a 33 goal season. Obviously never an issue for you to bury the puck there. Spent 2.5 years with the Niagara Ice Dogs there, and then you got moved to one of the most historic, well-respected elite programs in Canadian Major Junior, the London Knights. What was it like just finding out you were going to London and getting to play for that organization?
It was amazing, man. Pretty much it was a sour kind of leaving Niagara. Like me and another guy on the team, we ended up leaving the team because I had a really good relationship there with everyone in the GM, but I was in my fourth year, I believe, and I was coming to the end of my OHL career soon, and I wanted to be a pro, and to do that, it's beneficial to be on a good team, and I wanted to win. And our team, we didn't have the team to win. They were kind of in a rebuild. So I asked for a trade, and I basically got told to go fuck myself. And from there, it kind of got messy, and I had to sit at home for a few months and wait. And when my agent at the time finally called me, I went to Barrie first, actually. Me and Pietrangelo got traded to Barrie together. And the night before that trade, I met with the Barrie staff, and they kind of said, because they were making a run too that year, and they said, we'd love to have you, but like we're kind of solid in our top nine. We're looking for a fourth line kind of guy to really solidify our team, and we know that that's not you. But even just to get you out of there, we can get you. they wanted Petrangelo for sure. And they were like, if you want to play fourth line, great. But if you don't, we can send you kind of where you want to go. I was like, all right, cool. Let's get this done. And then literally 24 hours later, I was shipped off to London, and my agent called me and was like, you think you're ready to play tonight? I was like, yeah, sure. Like, where's Barry playing tonight? And he goes, no, you're going to play in front of 10,000 in London. I said, shut up. Because that was kind of the joke. Every trade deadline, every team I played on, it would always be like, you'd pack a guy's bag up or whatever and tell him he's going to Erie. Or, I'd come in and be like, oh, I'll get traded to London, boys. See you later. And they'd be like, oh, fuck you. But like, London's the place everyone wants to be, and for good reason, man. Like, that's where I really learned to be a professional and how to win. And Dale and Mark Hunter were unbelievable. I can't say enough good things about them, man. They really helped me in my career. Kind of changed the way I played too. I was just offense at the time, and they turned me into a shutdown centerman. So like, totally completed me as a player, and they treat you professionally there. And amazing, man. I love my time there. Nothing but good things to say, and I still talk to them. They still help me in my career. They still put in a good word for me in different places. So it's amazing.
That's kind of one of those, it's who you know kind of thing, right? If you know some of the right people, you're going to go far in this kind of industry, right?
Exactly. In hockey, a lot of it's about who you know, man. Like, and Dale Hunter and Mark Hunter, for them to have good things to say about me, it goes a long way, because it doesn't matter where in the world you're. If you're in Europe, whatever, everybody knows who they are and everybody respects their word. So it's huge to have guys like that in your corner, for sure.
One of the guys I wanted to ask about from your time in London is Nazem Kadri, who the year he got traded, he was kind of the star player on that team, 93 points, 56 games. Obviously, we've seen him in the NHL become, just especially with his time in Colorado, just become a true like top end player. What was he like in the locker room, and what was it like playing with him in juniors?
He was a great dude, man. He's a really funny guy.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, he loved to have a good time, and he was a great guy, man. Really nice in the room, but he was a completely different player than he is now. He was pure finesse, pure hands, like sick hands on the guy, but he was pure skill and offense. He didn't want to play defense, and he always had a bit of an edge to him, though. Like, he wasn't a shy to throw a hit here and there. But now he's a complete player, man. Like, he's known for being a two-way centerman. Like, and that's crazy, because when I hear that, I'm like, most of you people don't know what he was before. He didn't want to come into his own blue line, like, but now he's just developed so much and turned into such a great player. Like, it's really good to see.
And then just wrapping up your OHL career here, your last season, you started with the London Knights. You actually wore an A for them that year. And then you ended up coming back home to Mississauga, like you mentioned earlier, and going on a pretty long run there. Just walk us through kind of like that season, how that all went down, and kind of what it was like to even wear an A for the London Knights.
It was great. I remember, because they have the overager player rule there. You can only have 3, and we had 4, and we had 4 really good ones. And I was scared, man. I was scared. I didn't want to go anywhere else. I wanted to stay in London, so I stayed there the whole summer. I trained there. I spent my whole summer there, which was also a blast, because London's a great city, and all the alumni are always there, like Corey Perry, Rob Schramp, all that 05 Mem Cup team. They all lived there, so got to hang out with them. And so I ended up, being one of the 3 overagers, got an assistant captain. And then, we weren't doing great. I think we were mid-pack or whatever. But in London, it's win or it's not good enough. So around the deadline, we kind of had a feeling, they were going to blow it up. Literally like 15 minutes before the deadline, I got a call from Dale, and he was like, listen, I got to trade. I had a no trade clause too, so they couldn't just trade me anywhere. But he just said, listen, we got a deal to go to Mississauga. They're hosting the Mem Cup. He's like, I had offers to send you elsewhere for more, but like, he's like, I want you to go and experience that and play in the Memorial Cup. It's your last year. It's a good opportunity. And, I'd be glad to do that for you. And I was like, okay, like, sure, sounds good. I didn't really want to leave London, but I was like, this is the Memorial Cup. Of course I got to go.
Hard to turn that down.
Yeah. So me and one of my best friends, actually, Mike Drezer, we got traded there together. But I was talking to him. He was like, okay, that's good. But like, I really got to hang up on you right now because we have like 10 minutes to get this deal done and in time. I was like, all right, cool. So that's how it went. And it was great.
You got to fax in the papers, right? You got to make sure it's in before.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, because we lost to Owen Sound in the OHL finals that year, Game 7 overtime. And it wasn't until after Dale told me, he goes, Owen Sound was one of the other teams. I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, that's one of those things where you're almost rather not knowing.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have wanted to play in Owen Sound anyways. It was not a great place to play.
A little rough around the edges, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
So you wrap up your OHL career and you end up going the university route. Was that always something in your mind that you were going to try and play, like, U Sports CIS, or were you looking at maybe seeing if you could play pro first, or what was the kind of thought process when your junior career ended?
No, during my junior career, there's no way I was ever thinking about going to CIS, to be completely honest. It wasn't as kind of big as it is now. It's really grown now, and most guys are going. But yeah, until my overage year, really until the end of my overage year, I didn't even think about it. And then was kind of in limbo for a bit, didn't know what to do, and had to kind of make a life decision. And I didn't get any NHL contract, and I didn't get an American League one-way. If I got an American League one-way deal, I was going no matter what, but I kept getting like two-way offers, American League East Coast, or just Coast offers as well. And I just, for once in my life, I listened to people around me, like people older than me, and, tell me that, this is a good idea to go to school and keep playing, but, you're going to school and it's free, and not many people in the world can do that. So I decided I wanted to go to the Eastern Conference, the AUS is called. That's the best one, like, by far, I feel. And I ended up landing on University of Prince Edward Island, and it was awesome. I was there for every single year I was there, I was just like, I'm doing a 1 year. Like, I'm gone, but I stayed for 4, and I almost dropped out of school after 5 minutes into my first class. So, but I stuck it out.
What class was that almost made you drop it?
It was shit. I can't even remember the name of it. It was such a weird name. Like, oh, I wish I could remember. But I went to UPI because it's like a smaller school, and they preached like smaller classrooms. You're gonna know your profs by name. They're all gonna know you, and because I hadn't been in school for 3 years at this point, and I was just cruising through the OHL, like, having fun, and my first class I went in, it was one of those like big, huge classrooms, like almost like theater style
almost, eh?
auditorium.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the hell? I walked all the way to the top, sat there by myself, and I swear to God, like, it was like I don't want to say like it was probably a pretty hard class, because the first 5 minutes, I didn't even understand a word the prof was saying. Like, he was using these big words, and I was like fresh out of 3 years of doing nothing. So I was like, I can't do this. I walked out of the class. I went to the coach. I'm like, Coach, I'm done. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm leaving. I kind of like called my mom and like told her, and she was like, no, like, you're going to get this classes figured out. So we had a guy in charge of all the hockey players. He kind of sorted my classes out. He put me down to 3 classes for the first semester, and I kind of made it a couple easier classes. And one of them was called University 100, and it was double credits, and it basically teaches you how to school, like how to like what to listen for, how to take notes.
Really?
Yeah, like how to do homework.
That's actually
like,
a great
prioritizing
like
your
class.
time. Like, it was a huge class for me, man. It was so big. Like it wasn't a hard class, obviously, but it was a lot of like homework and stuff.
Oh
but,
yeah.
Like it helped me a lot, and I got through it. So once I got in the swing of school, it was really easy. My marks were so much better than high school and university. So like it really helped.
I will say, you said AUS is the best, CIS league in Canada. I will defend my Western provinces
we
and
both
say Canada
work
West.
for Canada
So,
West schools.
Yeah,
Matt,
but
we're gonna
yeah,
defend
but
ourselves here.
You guys have like one school. What do you got?
U of A,
Yeah, we have
US are
Alberta
kind of
and
the big
Saskatchewan.
boys.
That's it, though. That's
Yeah.
it. Like we got.
Oh,
I mean, we got UMB who wins every year,
right.
but we all all those teams in our conference are like neck and neck every year, and
Yeah.
it's because the AUS is best because they have the most money. That's just
fair.
what it comes down to. We have fans there. We had like in PEI, we're front page newspapers, like a lot of support. So like in Ontario, it's garbage, man. Like, no one gives a shit. No one's at the games. And
I'll
no
just
money
say,
for hockey.
don't let Matty B try and talk. He'll try and make the pitch that like, oh yeah, Mount Royal and Calgary, we're a national contender. Don't let him talk you into that. But like you were saying there, like I want
Alberta's
to ask,
good though. Alberta's
good. That's the one I work for. They're a contender every year. But I want to ask, you mentioned there, like in PEI, like, front page news. I want to ask what the fan base is like there. Like it's such a small kind of area. I imagine it's pretty tight knit, pretty diehard fans who come.
Yeah, man. Like we honestly, I feel like people liked us more than the Charlottetown Islanders, which is their Q team. We played in we didn't have a big rink, but it was packed every night. Probably 1,500 to 2,000. Playoffs, it got real crazy, and it's because like everyone there went to UPEI, so everyone's alumni, and the hockey team's the biggest thing, and everyone really supported us a lot, and yeah, everyone knows everyone in PEI. It's not the biggest place in the world, but it was really, really cool to, and I've never experienced the East Coast before that, so that was another thing. It was really cool.
And one thing a lot of people kind of like don't realize is just this is like all like university hockey is like really good hockey. Like a lot of these guys, they have the skill of like pro level players. A lot of them are like ex-dub guys, ex-OHL guys, ex-QMJHL guys.
Yeah.
So it's really high level hockey. So like the fanfare for it isn't like there as much as it really should be.
Yeah. Like I said, just before when I was there, it was kind of not a great thing, people really looked down on it. And then I found like at my age group was kind of, we weren't the beginning, but we were close to it, of like the whole change and shift in that. And it's really good hockey, and especially it just gets better and better. More and more guys are making it out of there. Joel Ward, who went to UPEI, he kind of paved the way for guys like us. And I tried to follow the same path, really. And more and more guys are making it out of there. I just saw a guy that I played against. He went to UNB, Philip Maye. He was playing. He got some games in the show. So, yeah, there's more and more guys, man. Like it's happening very often. And I remember when I was in the American League, like the GM and stuff started coming to me, and he's like, "Listen, who do you know out there?" Because like we've been seeing a lot of good players coming out of there now. So like, what should I be looking for? Who should I be talking to? So they're getting more and more scouting and everything like that. So it's really turned into something really good.
It's
Derek
almost like
Ryan,
unearthing some
the
like
other big
Derek
name.
Ryan.
Yeah, Derek
exactly.
Ryan. Yeah, it's almost like unearthing like a new country, almost, where you're finding some more and more talent in a different country, right? It's like you're finding talent in a different spot now, so teams are trying to get ahead of it, right?
Yeah, exactly, man, exactly. So, and it was funny because when I went to American League and people, where have you been? They don't like Americans and stuff. They don't have a clue, man. They don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So, like it feels like the jump I made from there to the American League, it was like the biggest jump in the world. If it seemed like to everyone else, but when I got to the pro game, I really didn't notice a big step. Like, I mean, this, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying CIS is the same as playing in the American League, but there are a lot of guys that can. Like your top two lines in the CIS, depending on the division, if you're in the AUS, those teams, your top two lines are really good players and they can play pro hockey. And then there's obviously a dip. It's not as deep, but there's a lot of guys that can do it.
So following your career at PEI, you spent a couple of years splitting time between the Indy Fuel of the East Coast and the Rockford Ice Hogs of the AHL. Were there like a lot of offers on the table coming out of your university career? Obviously, you're very successful, had some great years, won a University gold medal. You made the all-rookie team your first year. You were a second-team All-Star in 2013-14. So obviously a very successful college career. Were there a lot of offers on the table? Were there a lot of places you're kind of looking at?
I was stuck on Chicago, really, because I went to their camp every single year. I went 4 years in a row right after OHL. Like every year I was in school, I went there. They had a guy there that really liked me, and I kept getting brought back, and they kept offering me 2 ways, and I kept saying no, like I'm not going. You know, I'll finish school before that, and then yeah, I remember I was in my playoffs at UPEI, and the GM of Rockford texted me, and he's like, "Hey, like we're down a bunch of guys right now. Are you done? Like, what's going on? Like, because we'll sign you right now and fly you out. You could be in the American League right now." I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "Shit!" And then, but we still had games to play, and we ended up getting through the first round. And by the time we were done, they had guys sent down from the NHL. So he's like, "We're full now, but we'd love you to go to our East Coast League team." I was like, "Yeah, sure. Like now I'll go. Like now that I'm done." So I ended up going, and I did really well there. And I think I impressed some people there with how quick I jumped in and did well. And then the next year, I was going to Blackhawks camp. At that point, I signed the 2-way American League deal because I did the school. And I don't think anyone really knew who I was or anything really about me. But I went to the NHL camp that year, and I had a huge camp that year, like a really good camp. I think I really opened some eyes at that camp, and I obviously didn't intend to, and I don't think they ever had any intention of giving me a look in preseason or anything like that. But I got a shot. I got to play in Montreal in preseason, and you know, obviously I've been there too. I've been in a league before and didn't want to play preseason, but like for me, that was like, wow, like, okay, like I was just in school last year, and it feels like you're really far away from the NHL when you're playing there. So that was huge for me to play in NHL preseason in Montreal at that. So my family got to come, and it was awesome, man. It was awesome. I got in a fight in that game, like absolutely blew some kid up behind the net, and yeah, they loved it, man. They were really happy with me. Went down to the American League and did some preseason there. And then basically the GM just said, "Listen, like we are so full with NHL one-way contracts right now. We just don't have room." He's like, "We were going to send you down, but he's like, believe me, you're going to be back in like a week or two." And I was like, "Oh, fuck. Okay." Like, you know, I've had this spiel before. I'm not an idiot. But I went down, and literally 2 weeks later, I was back up, and I never went down again that year. And I played. I got in my first game, and I played every single game after that on a team that was like, we had a stacked American League team with big American League vet contracts and a whole bunch of NHL one-way and two-way contracts. And I was playing over some of these guys, which is so hard to do in the American League, man. But yeah, I played on the fourth line. I fought everybody. I played with a guy named Mike Liambis. We were line mates, and we did so good together. Just hit everyone, fight everyone, try and do my part, and try and stay in the lineup. That's all I was worried about. And it was a good year. They re-signed me to a one-way deal the next year. And yeah, same kind of thing. But that year I kind of got stuck on I was stuck in that role at that point. I couldn't get out of it. I was expecting to move up in my role, but you learn pretty quick the American League's not about who's playing best and what helps us get wins. It's about playing their draft pick players. So I got sick of that pretty quick, and that's why I ended up going to Europe.
Yeah, that's something we've heard a lot of before, actually.
Yeah, I want to go back to that preseason game you talked about in Montreal, and you said you fought. Do you remember who you fought?
Jeremy Gregoire was his name.
Oh, okay.
I think, yeah, he's another like American League guy playing a game. I think he was drafted by them. But yeah, I hammered some guy, and I'm pretty sure he was like concussed pretty bad from that. So I ended up fighting right after. It wasn't much of a fight, but I got like 27 penalty minutes in my last shift of the game. Like there was like 5 minutes left. I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever get this chance again. I'm in Montreal. I hate Montreal. Let's go. Like, let's do something fun, buddies, you know? So I caused a ruckus, and then, yeah, I ended up getting another one the next year in Detroit. And I fought again, but I tore the ligaments in my thumb. So that set me back for the next year. Kind of screwed me a bit, but oh well.
And I just did a quick search here, and there is video of this happening. So we can post that on our social media for everyone to see.
Yeah, I got lots of video on there. I got lots of video. The best one,
hockeyfights.com.
The best one I ever had, and the last fight I've had, it was actually in Europe. It was my first year in Europe, and I was playing for an Italian team. We were in the Austrian league, but it was Bolzano, so an Italian team. And we were playing against Zagreb, a team in Croatia who also plays in the Austrian league. And I ended up getting a fight in the hallway during a live interview at intermission.
What?
Yeah. And it went viral, man. It went viral the next day. My mom texted me. She's like, you sparked the top 10 on like Sportsnet or TSN or whatever. Like it was everywhere. And I was like, oh, fuck. But I got a 5,000 euro fine in 6 games. So it wasn't worth it. That's like 7,500 Canadian dollars fine.
Oh, man. We really have to go out and find these.
Exactly. We're going to go on a YouTube hunt after this.
Yeah, I got a lot of videos on there, man. They're pretty much all fighting at that point. But
man,
I don't think I've had a fight since. So
just want to do kind of like some speed run here through lightning round through your career in Europe. First off, just Italy. What's hockey like in Italy?
Well, that team, like I said, it's an Italian team. It's in the north of Italy, but we played in the Austrian league. It was called the ECHL. Now I think they just changed the name to ECHL. But it was amazing. It was the best year of my life. The most fun I've ever had in my life. The fans there are insane, like pure soccer fans, and we had a sold out barn every night. And that year we had like a miracle run. We were in last place till like January, and then we went on an absolute run, squeaked in the playoffs. Our last game of the regular season, we won in a shootout to get into the playoffs, and we ended up winning the whole fucking league. And they did a documentary on us actually, and it's called Hockey Town, because they call it Hockey Town Bolzano, like Hockey Town Italy.
Okay.
But yeah, it's on like Vimeo or something. I'm not sure where else. But it's online, and it's actually a well done documentary too. But yeah, that was the most fun I ever had. Unreal group of guys, like the closest team I ever played on. A lot of imports, of course, and yeah, the food was amazing, like amazing, man. It was so good, and I just had a blast, man. I had that's why I went to Europe, because in the American League I was starting to hate hockey a little bit, and I just found my love for it again over there. It was awesome.
You said the food was great. Or, you said the food was great. So what was your favorite, like what was your go-to like Italian dish out there?
Oh, we had pasta and pizza every single day, man. It was like unbelievable. Unreal. Like, and it's not like as filling as it is here.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like all homemade that day. Like, and everything's made from scratch. Like, there's no like shit in it like there is here. And It was so good, man. It's hard for me to eat pizza here now because it's just
it's just not nearly as good, right?
Doesn't live up.
Not even close. Yeah. No.
And did you find the time to do much traveling around Italy? You know, obviously like a very scenic place.
Yeah, man. I've traveled every year because we get like breaks in Europe now and stuff. We get like international breaks, and yeah, I've been around Italy a bit. I've been in France, Barcelona, friggin' Ireland, Dublin, Ireland, Monaco. Like, I don't know, man. I've been like so many places and a lot more to go still. So, yeah, that's the best part about Europe. Like, you're playing hockey and you get time to really travel and experience stuff, and it's cheap to travel too. Like, it's awesome.
So then the next year you're playing in Vienna. Same questions. What was that like being in Vienna?
I loved it there too, man. It was amazing. It's a world-class city. It was it's just so nice. You're in a massive city like that, and we lived close to the downtown. I live literally like 10 steps from the rink, and then there's a train right there that take you right downtown in 5 minutes. So it was awesome, and the people there were great, and we had a good team that year too. We lost in the finals, but yeah, I had a blast that year too.
Yeah, you obviously did very well. You were an all-star that year. You led the league in goals. You also led the league in playoff goals.
And plus minus. Don't forget
and
the
plus minus as well.
It's an important one.
It's a big one, man. Because you know what? When you have a good plus minus, the teams say, "Oh, it's a team stat." But then if you have a bad plus minus and it's contract time, they use it against you. So it's a big stat to have.
So was there a bit of a tough decision there? Like, obviously you said you just had 2 great years where you loved playing in Italy and then having such a good team in Vienna, but then you get an offer to play in the Liiga in Finland, which is one of the bigger leagues in the world. Was that kind of a tough decision, whether, you know, stay where you've been doing well and enjoying your time and having success, or moving over to a bit of a bigger league?
No, it wasn't a big decision. It was for me, like, that's what I wanted. It took me, you know, in Austria, it is a good league, but it's not the top leagues in Europe, and that's where I wanted to be. And that's what I was doing for those 3 years or so, was climbing. I went from Bolzano, then I went to like a big money team, a top team in the Austrian league in Vienna, and then I was ready to go. Like, I was ready to move on, and I did my job to do that. So went to Finland, really good league, and it was a big adjustment for me at the beginning, because there's no English in the locker room like in Germany and Austria, and you know, most countries they speak English in the room because there's so many imports on each team. And in Finland, there isn't many imports on each team, so everything was Finnish, and Finnish is like the most crazy language in the world. Like it's actually known as the hardest language in the world, and only like friggin' I don't even know, like 5 million people in the whole world can speak it. Like, it's not
Did you
similar
pick up
to
any of it?
couple words, like, just to get by, and like make the guys laugh at me, but that's it. But yeah, so I couldn't understand shit. Like, the coach would talk about the game plan and this and that, and sure, we had someone try and translate to us, but things get lost in that too, and the guy's English wasn't even that good, so I struggled at first, the first 10-15 games, and then it came to the point where, like, my agent was like, "Do you want to go?" Like, Red Bull Salzburg in Austria wanted me, and they have a ton of money actually. And he's like, "Do you want to go? We can get you transferred." I'm like, "No." I thought about it honestly because I was pretty miserable there, and then I really thought about it. I was like, "Fuck that, man!" Like, I worked so hard to get out of that league and get to the top leagues, and there's still many more places I want to go. My goal was to get to the KHL, and yeah, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to figure it out somehow. I'm just going to play. I'm not going to listen to this fucking coach anymore. Like, I'm just going to play my game and see what happens. And from there, literally from that day on, I went on an absolute tear and started crushing the league, man. Like, I scored 20 goals real quick. And then, yeah, in that league, they don't have relegation. So our team was shit. And there's a team in Sweden, Rogla, that had been interested in me in a couple years, and they had a really good team, and they were looking to add, and they wanted me to come. And so I was able to get a transfer from Finland to Rogla, Sweden, because the Finnish team didn't need me, and really we weren't going to make the playoffs. We sucked, and it benefits them because they got to get rid of my salary. So it was a win-win, and I got to go there.
And you didn't have any penalty minutes after that move to Sweden. So for the last half of that year. So discipline was,
none.
Right?
Well, have you ever watched Swedish hockey, man?
Nope.
Yeah, soft.
Yes,
Soft as shit. You can't, I was scared to hit because you hit a guy and they will stay down and you'll be suspended real quick.
Very soccer-esque.
Yeah, it was so annoying. It's frustrating, man. But
especially with that kind of being a bit of your bread and butter.
Yeah, but now I'm in Europe. I changed my game. I'm okay with that. My body isn't as much pain after the games anymore. So, but yeah, it was awesome. I loved playing for Rogla. They had a sick team this year too. They went to the finals. They ended up losing, but really good place to play for sure.
So then, yeah, this last year you were playing in the ECHL again. Had another good year, and then is there any other big changes from league to league here in Europe? You mentioned kind of the European style is softer, from Italy to Finland to Sweden.
Every league's different, man. Every league's got its own style, and that's why I feel like whenever you switch leagues, it's at least 10 games adjustment period. There's something different about everywhere you go, and Finland, it's a completely different game. It's very trap. They love their traps there, and defense, and just work hard. It's not so much they don't even care as much about structure, because to them it's if you lose or something didn't work, it's because you didn't work hard enough. That's always the reason in Finland.
Sounds like Woodsy coaching, I think.
But I also didn't understand shit that was going on, so I was kind of in my own world. But Sweden is the hardest league I've ever played in, for sure. It's all skating, nonstop. I never skated more in my life. It's nonstop skating. Everyone could skate super well. They're all super skilled. It's fast. And it's very defensive as well. They don't trap necessarily, but so defensive minded. It's the hardest league I've ever played in for scoring. The numbers are real low for everyone, even the top guy in the league. His numbers aren't, you're not going to look at his numbers and see what you would see in other leagues, for sure.
And then looks like you're signed for next year to play in Germany in Adele. What are your thoughts going into that league?
Yeah, I'm excited. I was kind of looking to go to Germany for this year. I've just heard nothing but good things. I know I got a lot of buddies that play there. But yeah, I got a call, and his team, they lost in the finals last year, so they got a good team. And obviously money is the thing for everybody, right? You got to make money. So I got a real nice offer, and Canadian coach too, which is what really put me over the top, because I've been dealing with
the English, right?
In Sweden they speak English, so everybody speaks English. They speak perfect English in Sweden, but just playing style, really. I had when I played in Rogla, I had a Canadian coach, and he was awesome. But yeah, I had a Swedish coach this year, and obviously the year before I had a Finnish coach. And I'm just I guess I don't agree with their styles always. But yeah, so a Canadian coach who wants to play the way that I, want to play. He's going to let me play my game. And so I'm happy about that for sure. And the understanding part, I'll be able to understand everything. So it'll be perfect.
And you'll be able to enjoy all the beer in Germany. And
exactly. I've obviously been to Germany many times. Playing in Austria, you're real close, and you play German teams in preseason. And been to Oktoberfest. Germany is a really fun. I think Germany is probably the best for when you think of like lifestyle and stuff. It actually Switzerland would be number one, but Germany's got like they got a really good league, like a top league, but also it's not like you're allowed to have fun. Like they encourage that. You win a game, like they bring you beers in the locker room, like here, have a beer, like enjoy yourself. Where in like Sweden and Finland, it's like no fun allowed, man. If you lose a game, it's the end of the world. Like
you are getting bag skated
to an end. And yeah, like you're not, if you are seen like at a restaurant and I'm having dinner and I have a glass of wine or a beer, like fans will be there and they'll be like, what the hell are you doing? Like you're an athlete, you're not allowed to drink. And it's like, okay, maybe if I was younger, I'd kind of be okay with dealing with that. But like I'm 30 years old now. The whole NHL thing is come and gone. And like, I want to play high end hockey, but also I don't want to be harassed like for enjoying myself. You know, like over there, it's if you lose a game, you can't even smile. Like they don't think you're taking it seriously. So I don't know. It's just a different mentalities, I guess.
Have you started doing any kind of like research or asking around, seeing how the game and the style changes in the Dell compared to Sweden, Finland?
Yeah, a lot more hitting. It's more North American style, and that's due to more imports. But yeah, a lot more. It's kind of similar to the American League style game. Most teams will have like a big guy that can throw them too. A lot more fighting in that league. But yeah, I'd say it's kind of similar to. It's probably similar to Austria, to when I played in Austria, just a bit better. Like it's a more elite league for sure.
And kind of as we're wrapping up here, last question we'd like to ask everyone. We've heard stories of various different championships. We've heard about, WHL championships being able to float. We've heard about guys who have broken trophies and kept little parts of it, or unscrewed trophies so they could sign a name on the inside. You won an ECHL championship. Do you have any fun trophy stories?
Oh man, that was the best 2 weeks of my life right there. After we won and partied so hard. But yeah, we took that thing everywhere. I had a night with it, but probably I'm not gonna say his name. He's one of my best buddies, and I didn't even know until like probably the next day. And I had to sworn to secrecy. I wouldn't tell any of the boys, but my buddy, when we won, I guess he was fucked up and someone else was encouraging him and he thought it'd be funny. He took a shit in the cup.
No.
Yeah, he took a shit in the cup. And then obviously afterwards he rinsed it out or whatever, but I'm sure he didn't give it a fucking thorough wash.
Oh no.
Oh man!
But then the next day, I see a couple guys. Like we were at the end of it's been like 13 days at this point of nonstop, and then I see like one of the guys pour a drink in there and drink out of it. I was like, oh. I didn't say anything though. I just sat back and laughed because I knew. So I was like,
oh no! If he hears this, he's gonna know it's him. But I think he's gonna be happy you didn't name a name here, eh?
No, I won't do that. I won't do that.
Oh, man, Matty B, you got any last questions here?
Oh, I'm trying to just still process the shitting in the trophy.
I'm sure
that's one we have not heard.
More, but that was the top. That's one that's original and I think stands out.
Man, oh man.
Well, we asked, is there any other, stories that
any
come
other
to mind
stories,
as we're
career
talking? If you got any
highlights,
other ones that, career highlights and stuff like that?
Oh man. I guess I'll tell you the funniest story. It still makes me laugh when I think about it. Again, I'm not going to mention anyone's name here because he's still playing too. But when I was playing pro in North America, I got two. I'll start with the not as good one, but it was my first year. Like I left school and went to the coast, and we had a guy on our team whose father, I'm not going to say his name either, but everyone knows who his dad is. He played for the Detroit Red Wings. lasted a long time, his career, overextended his career. And anyways, his son was on my team, and we were playing in Fort Wayne, and his son was a healthy scratch for this game. And anyways, we were at the hotel, and then you walk across the street and you go to the rink, and right beside the rink was a strip club. So him and the other guy that aren't playing, they go over there and they're just pounding drinks, getting hammered, and doing whatever they do. Anyways, we go for warm up, and one guy said he starts feeling sick, he can't play. So coach calls him. He says, "Hey, where are you? You got to play." He's like, "Oh fuck." He runs from across the street, comes in. His face is like purple, red, like when someone's been like they're hungry, they're hammered. His eyes are glazed, and we're just like, "Oh boy." We knew exactly what he was doing, and we're all laughing. And the coach is in there, and he doesn't know what the fuck we're laughing about. So anyways, we go out there, play the game, and he was just like fourth line or whatever. But doesn't this guy have a hell of a game? I think he scored. I think he might have scored the game winner, like huge game. Come in the room after, and coach, like we had like a player of the game thing, and usually the player that got it last hands it out. Coach grabs it. He goes, "I'm handing it out today." He goes, "Oh, I want to say his name, but I can't." But anyways, it's a Hall of Famer's son.
Okay.
And he goes, You think I don't know? I know where you were and what you were doing. You're pissed drunk out there tonight, but fuck me, you played a hell of a game, and we won the game, and everyone's going nuts. And yeah, so that was within my first 6 games of pro hockey in the East Coast League. I was like, what the fuck have I got myself into? And then the best I've ever seen is we had a practice when I was playing pro in the States, and we had like a little team thing the night before, nothing crazy, but this one guy got into some weed brownies like the night before, like late at night. But he was like, "I don't feel shit. Like, I don't feel anything." He was fine, whatever. He went to bed. And but it kicked in the morning. He had a big delay. Like, he kept eating them, and he's like, "I don't feel anything." And it kicked in hard in the morning. And we had practice. And so he came to the rink pale as a ghost. Like you could just tell this guy is not okay. And he was like full tripping out. He's like, "I don't know what to do. I'm fucking at the fucking brownies, man. They got me." And we're just like, "Dude, just stay back, man. Just hide out." And we were like, "Why did you even come? Why did you even come? Call in sick. Like, they're not going to come check on you." But anyways, he was freaking out. And we told him, because in our room, we had like those big Mac computers for video. So we're like, "Dude, just go fucking sit at the computer and pretend you're watching video. Just chill the fuck out. Just sit down and be invisible for a bit." So, "Okay, yeah, I'll do that." Sure as fuck. Like 5 minutes later, we walk by. He's sitting at the computer, but the fucking computer's not on. And he's got the mouse in his hand, and he's staring at it like he's watching something. But the fucking computer wasn't on. The screen was black. And we're like, "Oh my God." We're like, "Buddy, like, get your shit together, man. Go take a shower, do whatever." And I guess he ran to the trainer after this and was like, "Listen, man, like, I know I'm probably not supposed to tell you, but like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm really high on weed brownies, and I'm tripping out, and I don't know what to do." And the trainer's just like, "What the fuck? Like, what do I do for this guy?" I don't know how the fuck he ended up coming on the ice, but he came on the ice. And it was like before practice started, I was on the ice early with a couple of guys, and it's just where you're just skating around. You grab a puck, you fire it, skate around, whatever. He comes on the ice. He picks up a puck at center ice. I'm in the corner at the net that he's coming towards. So he comes out and he's skating and he's whatever, stick handling a bit. and he winds up to take a slap shot. And in the back of his windup, he toe picks, face first on the ice, didn't catch himself with his hands or anything, like face first. And he just gets up quick and just hopes nobody saw it, right? He gets up, like he's just like this. And I'm on, like, me and the boys are on the ice crying, laughing. Like, we can't hold it in. Like, it's so bad. We're like, this guy's not going to make it. And then first drill in practice, our coach loved he puts tires all over the neutral zone and like the top of the blue lines. And you basically have to like go with your two guys go together, you pass in between the tires, and then you pass to the guys at the other end and you regroup and they hit you with the pass and you go through the tires again and then you shoot on that. So two guys go, they're passing, and then he's next in line at the other end. So they have to pass it to him or the other guy. They pass it to him. So now he has to make a pass to these two guys as they're regrouping with tires. Okay.
Oh.
He gets the puck. He kind of bobbles it a little bit and he's like panicking and he gets it and he fires the puck nowhere fucking near where anyone was. It literally hits the tire that was in front of him, like a car tire, and shoots right back between his legs. He spins around. He's trying to get it between guys' feet, get the puck, and like the drill's like completely ruined. And the coach is like, "What the fuck is going on?" He's like, "What the hell did you guys do last night?" And anyways, I guess our trainer ended up ratting him out later, but the coaches found out and they gave him fucking a hard time. And it was like the funniest thing I've ever seen on the ice. Like, this guy was pure struggling and he was pale as a ghost. It was just terrible, just awful. I felt so bad for him. He shouldn't have been on the ice. He should have called home sick. So it's his own fault, but he didn't know what to do. He was panicking. And to see him staring at a blank computer just was amazing.
Just completely out to lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what a story to end on. Thanks again, Chris, for coming on. We had a blast. I'm sure our listeners are going to love hearing some of the stories here and hearing about your career. Best of luck next year in Germany with the rest of your career going forward.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
All righty. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.